We are live on a Friday night, a little bit unusual, but we're going to be kicking off the month of what we call here Rocktober, and we're going to be doing it right with some brand new music from Aatheria. This is going to blow your eyeballs out of your head and just blow your ears away too. This is absolutely amazing, and I'm very honored to have them on with us tonight. And this is their latest release entitled The Fallen. And after we watch and listen to this, they will be right with us, and we're gonna chop some broccoli on this one tonight and discuss the intricacies of the video and the song. We're gonna dive into some art. That is just a minute here. We're having difficult. There we go. That's a little bit better. And we're gonna pull this up here too. I just saved the live stream from just completely crashing just a few minutes ago. So I was sitting here working frantically. As you know, we are live, and anything can happen when you're live. So we're gonna do that, and let me remove something here. Just a second. This is crazy. There we go. And we're gonna switch this out here. It usually doesn't go this way. There we go. It's a whole lot better. Welcome to the madness of Raven's Heart this evening. Aatheria, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Can you guys introduce yourselves? We know you as Aatheria, but who do we have with us?
I'm Tech. I do a lot of the engineering and production, and mostly play guitar, and as well as all the other instruments on there. And am I talking loud enough? Is the microphone picking us up?
We got it. Yep, I hear it.
Cool. And this is Aatheria.
I am Aatheria. We have been writing together for a while, and recently we put the project together this year and put it into motion. So we really have only been doing this for how long now? 3-4 months out of the gate.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah, about 3-4 months out of the gate. So yeah.
It looks like you've been doing this for many years.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Many years. I mean, this is so polished and professional. It's absolutely visually stunning, and the audio is absolutely stunning as well. You know, music and art in general, it serves many different purposes. And to me, when I watch this and when I listen to it, it's extremely otherworldly. What are you trying to accomplish? Are you trying to take us somewhere with this music, with this video, trying to transport us to another place? What's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, we sort of had a concept for the video, and at first we had a little bit of a different idea, and then as we kept going along with it, it just kind of honestly kind of evolved to what it is now. Yeah, we spent a lot of time on it. We have our own facility where we produce the videos and everything, and pretty much do everything ourselves. Even the music, it's basically just been the two of us. Sort of how the process goes is, I'll write the music, and then Aatheria will write the lyrics, and we just go with that. Again, same thing with the video. We sort of took turns sort of shooting it, and then later on in post-production, sort of did everything with the effects and all that stuff. As for the concept of the video, mostly just going with our theme of space and sort of traveling through other galaxies and other worlds and stuff like that. So trying to eventually, sort of lead into a story with it. And you'll see that further on as we keep progressing with the music and the videos.
So there's more coming in the future.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, a lot more.
Oh, that is great. That is great. With this song, The Fallen, what is the Fallen you're talking about? Who is the Fallen?
Well,
so I could speak to that because I wrote some lyrics, right?
Yeah, you wrote some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel, so Tom originally came up with the words "the fallen," and maybe the music he wrote were kind of like painting a picture of the fallen. I don't know why you called it that. Do you know why you called it that?
The Fallen, when I started writing the music, so it does go a little deep. I honestly, the inspiration was sort of like, when I got the idea for the song, I was really listening to Linkin Park at that time, because they just put out that song Lost, and it's so good. It's a good song. I grew up with that kind of music, and then when I came with The Fallen, I was sort of going to like a, sort of like a past place of, losing somebody close to me, and you kind of feel like you're falling into something, and it feels like, when you kind of go through something like that, it just feels like you just hit the ground hard, and trying to figure out how to deal with this type of thing. So, and as sort of maybe bleak as that kind of sounds, I wanted to write a song that sort of took that and kind of took that negative into more like an uplifting type of thing. I felt like we kind of did that with this song, and also just, also for interpretation for anyone, whatever they feel from the song, whatever helps get them through anything or inspires them in some way. It's kind of what we want to convey as well with doing this.
Yeah, and after hearing his music, I felt like Fifth Element vibes from that movie. Have you ever seen it? It's just kind of like the vibe we have for the whole project. It's kind of like, we're both into like sci-fi stuff like that, nerds. So it was kind of like fitting for us. And, I picture the Fallen also is like who we are as a human race, who we are as humans. Because the lyrics, when I wrote those, it was like talking about the cycle of birth and death, and what are we doing here? What is our purpose? But then, as much as we want to find out our purpose, by the time we figure it out, maybe we're dying just as much as we're living. So it's just a circle of life, that whole kind of like full, spectrum. So it can get very deep, obviously, but that's the surface level.
That's why I decided to have you guys on, because this is deep. As soon as I heard it, I was like, oh wow, this is deep. And when I watched it, and we're going to talk about some of the visuals, I'm going to share some stuff that I saw that I did not include in the outline, some experiences that I've had that you hit upon in there. And we'll get into that because we'll talk about some strange things. I'm weird. I've got my weirdo coffee mug tonight.
Awesome.
Nice.
Good.
And to fit the theme of what you got going on over there with all the fall and the harvest and stuff like that, I am drinking pumpkin spice coffee tonight.
Oh, very nice.
I went earlier today.
We're on the same wavelength.
Oh yeah.
So with these visuals, the first thing that caught my eye was the neon lights. This is a motif that I'm starting to see more and more in different music videos. Xandria just put out a song and a video last year that used the lights and different the neon lights. I'm seeing it more and more. What was the mood and atmosphere that you're trying to create with the lighting in this video?
The lighting just sort of came into play. I think it might be just, maybe it's sort of a trend of things that's going on. I've been seeing it a lot more too. And at the time, I think when I was doing the production on it, it just honestly just seemed like a cool idea. And they just kind of came about just to get a visual, and sort of like with the doors being sort of like different, sort of like doors, but just different areas of like, you're looking at this planet in different areas, and, it could be teleporting somewhere else. Again, still leaving things a little vague. I didn't want to go too much into what they could be. I like having a sort of like, making you kind of think about it, like, what is this? What is this place? What is this planet? Is this Earth? Is this something else?
Yeah, it goes with the space theme. I mean, if you're in space, right? There's not a lot of lights, right? So what's lighting up your electronics when you're flying, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe that's the neon,
I'll have to go up there and check it out.
Yeah.
I'll let you know. Yeah, the thing with the lights, especially the tunnel at the beginning, it captivated me. And I want to go back to something that you just said a few moments ago about dealing with somebody that's maybe passed or losing somebody in those difficult topics. At night, I have actually been in one of those tunnels in my sleep.
Oh my
And
god.
yes, it happened. And I'm going to share this because it's very personal, but it ties in. And I want to inspire you and encourage you with what you're visualizing, because this is definitely an inspired song. It was in 2018. My father was passing away. I went up to Connecticut to go visit him, to see him one last time before he passed. He was still alive, and it was on a Saturday night. I'll never forget it. It was at 2:00 in the morning. I found myself while I was asleep in one of those tunnels, and I heard him call out my name. My sister called the next morning and said he's taken a turn for the worse and he's going to pass real soon. And I asked her, what time did he take the turn for the worse? She said 2:00 in the morning, the exact time that I was in that tunnel, and he called out my name.
Wow.
Wow.
So, yeah. In addition to the space theme, I really see an interdimensional theme going on here, especially with the doors. That's what caught my eye, the different portals going from different dimensions. And when I see this video, I was like, okay, I get this experience that they're trying to, I mean, and somebody else may see something different with it, but this is how it's affected and impacted me. I'm like, I've been there. I know what that is.
Wow,
I've seen that.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Wow.
So be encouraged that what you're doing is inspired.
Cool.
And keep
Awesome.
doing it.
Yeah.
That's why we're doing it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Putting our hearts
So
out there.
you were saying those doors, did you purposely make those to look like doors, or was that just like, okay, this looks good and it'll work, or was that purposeful?
It was kind of just something that kind of worked. We were going through different ideas and what to do, and then, when it came to the production of everything on how to edit it, we just, there was a lot more stuff that we wanted to put in, just didn't have the time for. So we're just like, we'll just do it for the next one. And it just kind of came about. It just ended up being the way it is. It ended up just being a really cool concept. And then we were like, well, let's try and, then it was like, okay, we're doing different colors for maybe different moods and, different stuff like that for the video, and, keep switching up, keep it entertaining. and then that also going with like different areas of the planet. So it's showing like the further landscape and everything changing around it.
I think something else that caught my attention with this video is one of the first things I wanted to be when I was growing up was an astronaut. I was
Cool.
really into space. But when I learned that there was no such thing as the Millennium Falcon and I would not be flying that for NASA,
It's not. That's not real. I'm done.
I am so sorry. It is. It's not real. No. But yeah, I wanted to be an astronaut. I've always been fascinated with outer space. I've been always fascinated with things that there's so many mysteries in this universe, so many things that we have yet to explore. I think it's the exploration aspect of it. And you can say that for the ocean as well. I mean, there is so much stuff down in the water that we haven't even seen before. We really don't know. And that's what I really like about your music and your videos. It's not pop music.
No, definitely not.
But I mean, we have to be fair. We take some elements from pop, right? But it's just its own thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We both have.
Yeah. And bringing that up, there are some dance music that I listen to, some EDM, all that stuff. I like to listen to pretty much everything except for country music. That is not in my wheelhouse at all. But your voice reminds me a little bit of Kim Sazi, one of the EDM and dance singers from early 2000s. I was like, oh wow! I mean, your voice is just so smooth, and when I listen to this song, it's just like, as we would say in New York, butter to the ears.
What is? I've never actually heard her. What's her name?
Kim Sazi.
You know who that is?
S-O-Z-Z.
I probably do if I heard the song.
Yeah, we love the EDM stuff. We have, and I'm sure you can hear the influences in there. But that's always been my dream genre. But I was just always like, how do we get there? And I don't know. Maybe we'll find a way.
Yeah, it's sort of just a blend of everything that we grew up listening to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you like industrial, right?
Yeah, I grew up super heavy into like industrial, like bands like Nine Inch Nails and Prodigy, and then was listening to like death metal and then Fear Factory, but then I was going to metal shows and I was also going to like clubs because I also loved like all the EDM stuff growing up and things like that. So just kind of when it came to making music, I was like, how can I blend these two things together and make it so it's not so overwhelming and that they both kind of sit in one area.
It's a beautiful mixture. It's a beautiful mixture. And one of the things that I've discovered is a lot of people who like metal, they're also into the EDM. And
is that true?
Yeah,
that's true.
Well, see, yeah, sometimes.
Yeah,
Yep.
I love it too. Like I love how like Ellie Goulding was a folk singer and then became like EDM. Like she's still pop now, but she like a lot of her EDM earlier stuff was really good. So
yeah. I used to switch when I had satellite radio. I'd switch between Octane radio and BPM.
Wow. Okay, so that's a market then.
Yeah.
It is. You guys really have hit on something. And another thing about this, I am very into, if anybody who's not familiar with this now, very into the prophetic, very into apocalyptic things and discussing those things. And there's so much apocalyptic in this video. It's like Michael Bay on steroids in one video. You got explosions, mushroom clouds, you got meteors coming in, fire, flames, dark clouds. These are very fearful and unsettling things, but you present it in a way that it's very artistically tasteful. Because a lot of times when we think apocalypse, we think Terminator.
Yeah. Like a doomsday type of thing.
Totally.
Yeah, well, we wanted it to be existential like that because, when we wrote the song, it's like we wrote it, we're in a time of uncertainty. Being a human is kind of weird in 2023 and there's a lot of weird stuff going on. So you just kind of like question that. And then the lyrics question that a lot but again, it's like the chorus, help me, I'm falling. And it's like, how do I, and you could be falling through time, right? Like you could be doing anything. There's so many things you'd be falling through, but it's like, either way, you can't stop it, right? So.
Yeah. And again, it goes with also just our fascination too with science fiction, things like that. And again, morbid curiosity. I think we all have some sort of weird...
Exactly, that's it. Morbid curiosity. That's a perfect. That should be the album name.
Yeah.
It's so terrible, but it's true.
I think everybody, you know, we do. We all think about it. We don't want to think about it sometimes, but that's sort of like, what if this happens? What if there's a catastrophe? And you know, we put that in the video to again sort of go like, what is this planet? Is this like, you know, sort of post-apocalyptic thing? Is it after it hit whatever planet this was life wiped out? Again, it was sort of to be more of that, like, you're kind of still playing a guessing game and trying to make up your own story with the music video. And I mean, who doesn't love explosions? Come on.
Oh man, this has got everything a guy would like in it.
Yeah.
Guitar riffs. I mean, it's got the whole 9 yards. Personally, do you guys think we're close to an apocalypse? I have to ask that question. I mean, we take a look out the window, and every day gets a little bit weirder and weirder. We did an edition just a couple weeks ago on the UFO disclosures on Capitol Hill, and I never thought in my entire life that we would be discussing those things on Capitol Hill in Washington.
Yeah, that was us just flying around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andromeda 6.
Yeah.
But you think we're close to an end?
Do you think we're close to the end?
Yeah.
I mean, everyone thinks so. I mean, you know, I think so. I don't know about you.
I'm ready. No,
yeah.
no.
I just want to go back to the planet I was born. I don't want to go here. I don't want to be here.
We're just visiting. No.
Visitors.
No, I think we probably do have quite a bit of time left. But I mean, it's a really hard question to ask because you never know. I mean, that's why you just gotta enjoy.
Well, the
life,
reason
you know?
I'm positive is because there's so much good that happened in 2020, even though there was so much bad. So like, there's still life, like, you know, that's going to go on, and it's like, there could be so much bad, but there's still going to be life going on. So that's why we don't really know. And we just have to take every day like it's our last. And that's the kind of thing also in this video to kind of think about. It's like how people see that and get a little bit more conscious too. They're not just like, you know, we don't want to make people unconscious with our music. We want to make them like, you know, more spiritually aware and more like actually feel fulfilled too. We don't want to like be downers. We want to be positive because it is positive.
Yeah, get out and just live.
Yeah.
You know, every day's a gamble, but just go out and live your life and have fun.
Mm-hmm.
And you never know which day is going to be your last one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't know. We're not guaranteed anything at all. And talking about the positive of the portrayal of the apocalypse in this video, it's what I would call a beautiful apocalypse. This video, the best way to describe it. If we are coming to the end, is there a beauty in that? Do you see a beauty in a coming to the end?
You know,
a beauty in apocalypse.
It's funny because I remember watching, I think it was something a long time ago on the Discovery Channel or History Channel, something like that. I was probably a teenager. I remember watching it, and it was fascinating because they were doing like a show like that where it's like life after like an apocalyptic thing. And it ended up being like, I know it sounds bad, but like without humans, there would be like a sort of a balance again. So like wildlife would come back, you know, forests would come back, animal life would come back, and everything would have, again, a balance with like the food chain and everything like that. So I think that really kind of just stuck in my mind. It was just interesting to think about. And then, yeah, I guess it can play into the video quite a bit. Like, you know, even though it seems like a very devastating and, you know, sort of mentally disruptive concept, and it's always scary to think about. One, I think we do have quite a bit of time. I don't think that's going to happen, but if it did, just the theory behind it and the story behind it of like, oh, there can still be this immense beauty out of this sort of super destructive thing, and maybe that's kind of how life is sometimes. You go through a lot of bad stuff, and then sometimes there's just something really good that happens in the end.
Yeah. There's a lot of music videos that I've seen, especially in the metal genre. For some reason, apocalyptic themes seem to permeate the metal genre. It's a perfect place for it. Doesn't fit in pop. I just can't see Cardi B doing a song about the apocalypse.
Yeah, not quite. No.
Well, I think they're not. They're just, they have a different agenda, right? And I think a lot of metal bands are really, they speak from the truth. Like, there's a lot of truth to their lyrics. There's a lot of like high consciousness in their lyrics, where I don't know. I mean, some pop can be conscious, but most of the time it's pretty low level stuff, right? It's a little kind of.
I think it depends. Like, and it's all different.
Yeah, I mean, even country music has beer drinking and stuff. I mean, they don't have anything like super high up here. I don't think they're that prophetic. Sometimes they are, but yeah, it just depends on the artist, I guess. So.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I really appreciate about the metal genre is all the right questions are being asked in metal, and exploring and going beyond what is beyond the veil. That is really what I appreciate about a lot of the metal bands and the hard rock bands. What's beyond? What lies behind? We need to deal with these issues of life and death. And really, I've found that for me, in grappling with the question of existence and why am I here, what's life about, or why am I going through this horrible situation in my life? Some of that has helped me emotionally and mentally process all of that through the metal genre.
That's great, and that's what happened to you too when you were growing up, right? That helped you through so much, right? Metal.
Yeah, I don't know what it was about it, but I think, well, my sister was a huge influence, and so growing up, yeah, I mean, for me, music was sort of an escape for everything. Like a lot of people, sometimes life gets pretty difficult, but luckily, instead of going down some pretty dark path, I just kind of was drawn to music, and the thing that really was sticking out to me was the sound of the guitar. I just, thought it was cool just hearing the super heavy, distorted, aggressive sound. I don't know, maybe just more so speaking to my inner angst as a child, but I just thought, like, that's the coolest sound ever. How do I make that sound? And I just ended up playing guitar and just being fascinated and enamored with all the, not only playing it and scales, but also like the actual technology that went into it. So I was obsessed with the gear. I was obsessed with, pickups, pedals, amplifiers. And then, I think when I was around 16, yeah, I was in like an industrial band, and we were doing, the singer at the time was doing all the production in his own studio. And so I would just still hang out after band practice and just go over everything, all the gear and technology and this and that, recording techniques. And yeah, super fascinated with it. And metal production too has been very interesting. I've done some pop production. I've done, some country, hip hop, everything. And they both definitely have their own elements of production. I think they all can be used, and taking a little bit away from each one and even still applying them to the other genres. But metal production gets very pretty crazy sometimes, because you can go from a simple sort of punk or hardcore setup where it's just two guitars, bass, drums, vocals, to you have like a symphonic black metal setup with the whole orchestra and everything, and layered guitars and vocals, and it gets pretty crazy sometimes.
Yeah, it's the classical music of our time, right?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yes, I would agree completely. Yeah, I've often wondered in some of the shows that I've gone to see, what if Bach or Mozart walked in and experienced a
Cardi B show.
Nightwish concert?
Exactly. Yeah, you'd be like, I'm so down for this.
Well, did you hear that they made contact with aliens or something a couple years ago, and they sent like our best and brightest out of Earth, and they said, "Here's our musicians," and they made contact with them. There was an article on it. You can look it up, and I don't know who they sent. I mean, hopefully they sent Bach.
It was us.
Well, of course us, but I hope they at least sent Bach and people that are really good too.
Yeah,
not just what's on.
Well, they sent that thing into space, right, years ago.
Yeah,
There was like a record.
Who knows if they even understood it, right?
I think they have. Well,
I think they sent Bach.
Huh?
I think they sent Bach. I think it was Bach.
I think they did. Yeah, I mean, he was otherworldly anyway. His stuff, he definitely channeled a lot of stuff.
I mean, essentially, music is just a bunch of frequencies that people find pleasing. So hopefully, they like something if aliens found it. Otherwise, they're just like, nope, destroying these
Too
guys.
low frequency.
Yeah.
There's some music I'm thankful they didn't send up there. We'd be seeing that apocalypse real fast. End up achy breaky heart. The video that you produced, when I saw it, I was like, man, this is like a cinema blockbuster production. And then when I talked to Aatheria on the phone, I found out that it's just like because of intense creativity. Tell us how that video was made and how much it, the billions of dollars that it cost.
Billions of
Billions.
dollars. Yeah.
Trillions.
And then we spent it all on fall stuff. For
Yeah.
the holidays. No, yeah, we kind of just have our own like production facility, and a lot of bands, doing a lot of things themselves, and sort of also having experience too, growing up, going to the studios or going to get videos produced and this and that. I think for both of us, we always ended up going to do something, spending all this money, and it not coming out quite the way you kind of envisioned it.
Yeah, we're controlling too, so
Yeah,
we don't want
yeah.
our stuff messed up. We did it.
So we did everything ourselves. Again, it's just investing in ourselves and getting the spot, getting the gear, getting the software, getting the scenery, and very much taking time to sit down and come up with a concept just in case that concept doesn't work out. And then just understanding and learning as much as we can with the the software technology ideas, seeing what other videos are doing, maybe we can find behind the scenes production stuff. Because for me, myself, again, I've always been fascinated with just learning stuff like that, learning all the production ins and outs, and that's kind of how it came to be.
It's just mad creativity, inspiration on steroids is what I see when I see the video. Yeah, I was thinking about it after I spoke with Aatheria on the phone. I used to have a production company. I used to do video production, and I did a lot of TV commercials. Won a couple awards for those, as a matter of fact. I still have the
Awesome.
awards on the other side of the
Yeah.
studio. But it would always kill me on the inside when I'd go to a client and they'd be like, "Oh, well, I got a camcorder and I can do it myself." And they would try to do it, and it'd be the most, they thought it was the greatest thing in the world, but just did not need.
Yeah, that was another thing. We were like,
We were worried, right?
oh yeah, I mean, even before we released it, I was never happy with it, and then you would just tell me to shut up and like, you gotta get something out.
Yeah, but he just undermines, and I undermine a lot too, my talent. I don't think we're very we're not too pompous, right? I don't think so.
No,
We're kind of just very shy people.
we're just like the best ever,
I don't know. And it's not like anyone taught me that in school. I mean, we just kind of ran with it.
We've just been kind of learning everything on our own, and
Yeah.
I think we live in a very good time to have all
Well,
these.
I mean, we grew up
tools.
doing all that. I mean, I was a kid filming videos with what was that program? You probably had it on your computer. It was Lego Movie Maker. Do you remember
Yeah,
that?
I have
Lego
that
Movie
one.
Maker?
I had something for the Sega too. It was
Yeah.
Mickey's something.
Well,
where
so
you'd,
you just
do
use
drawings like that.
technology all your life since I was 5, and it's okay, well, you got to be able to figure it out. It's not that hard. It's a computer, right?
Yeah.
So we did it. We did it. And we also record our own music too. He tracks everything, he produces everything, and eventually we're open to working with whoever. But for our first EP, you did it. So.
Yeah, it's just been kind of easier.
And you've been working in studios for years, though, so you do
Yeah.
have expertise in that. So
I hope so. I
Yeah.
think so. No, and I think we just keep thinking about we're both always trying to push ourselves and push each other, and so I think both of us, even when it comes to recording a song, whether it's vocals or me doing guitar stuff, it's just we're always like, is this good enough? Is this cheesy? Is this gonna come off well? Do these lyrics sound dumb? I mean,
yeah.
there's been nights we'll legit be up till 3, 4 in the morning, either doing something with lyrics or working on just a section of a song with a guitar and chopping stuff and trying different things, and just critically being aware and be like, okay, does this sound dumb? If we took if we took a step back, separate ourselves from it, and if we heard this playing on a radio, would we be like, oh, this is cool, or that was kind of cheesy type of thing?
Bad,
yeah.
We don't want that.
Yeah, so we're always just super critical.
We always test the mix in the car, right?
Yeah.
And we've been doing that for years. And well, like I said, this project is new, but when we were in college, we would record stuff together. We didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
We tried to find a band in Connecticut, because that's where we're from, and it was impossible. We couldn't find any band to work with us.
It was hard too.
There was nobody.
We were very, very motivated, and I think also required a lot from ourselves and from other people. But I mean, for the most part too, it was start off with, again, me doing all the music and things like that, and then we met up, and then we started tracking stuff, and we we were even trying to like track guitars, with a big tube amp at the time, instead of like
we had no money.
An apartment, yeah.
We had no money.
I got like I think I had I think it was a crank amp at the time, or one of my Marshall amps.
Yep.
And we would put the cabinet in the closet, and like we like try to make like a sound booth for it, with like clothes and everything, and put the microphone in there, and then have the amp out in the living room. And I mean, again, we living off of like quinua and whatever.
Oh
the
yeah,
hell
we
we
had
could
no
get.
food.
And then we just had all this gear in the living room.
That's all we had.
Yeah.
All the money went to music. We didn't eat. At least we stayed skinny. We didn't eat.
Yeah, at least we looked good. Maybe a little bit malnourished, but
Yeah.
But darn, things sounded really good. I'm hungry, but we're making some good music. I have to ask.
We caught the attention of Century Media, and we had some stuff going on, but they were like, "You need to play shows. You need a band. We want to see some traction." But like, we were in the middle of nowhere in Connecticut. We had no band, so we didn't like give up. Like I said, we did some other stuff, and now we're back, and we're ready. We're getting ready now.
Yeah,
so.
I think so.
Yeah.
Got to keep going.
Yeah, you do. Keep it going. I have to ask the question: where in Connecticut are you from?
The middle.
Yeah. The middle.
What town?
You have family up here? That's crazy.
I'm from Connecticut.
What?
Wait, really?
Yes.
What part?
New Milford.
Oh wow, I have relatives that live out there.
Yeah.
Right by Danbury, real close to the New York border.
Nice. So why'd you move out Midwest?
I'm actually in Columbia, South Carolina.
Oh, okay.
I am down south. I moved down here. I went to school in Charleston, South Carolina.
Nice.
Graduated from the Citadel Military College of South Carolina in 1994.
Very
Done
nice.
some stuff, and I'm still here. So, and just moved. We used to be based out of Charleston, South Carolina, with Raven's Heart and Lithos Pride and what we were doing, and just recently moved to Columbia.
Very nice.
Wow. Awesome.
I knew there was a connection. I was like, Connecticut, gotta be.
Well, I can still hear a hint of the the nutmeg state in your dialect, right? You can still hear it.
You got that nutmeg accent. No.
Yeah, but now it's combined with the drawl of the South. Just a little bit. I have family in the South that they have the draw, and so when I'm around them, I start to draw. So it's definitely a thing. So
I don't. No. No.
Where's your family?
Mostly from Connecticut, and then.
What about those other people? Aren't they overseas, right? Some people.
I have some. Yeah, I think some
Yeah.
family. My grandmother was from Poland. My grandfather was from Germany, and then on like my dad's side, we had family in North Carolina, which also
That's
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love being there. I got to go take a trip back. And yeah, some family in California, a little bit everywhere, but yeah, South Carolina, North Carolina.
Yeah, so we're from the middle.
Connecticut.
Yes.
The depths of Connecticut.
We grew up, wanting to like there's nothing to do, as you know, because you grew up here. It's like, so what do you do? Like go to the cemetery and like try to find ghosts? I
did.
Like, what is there to do? And it's very like what I do love is like right now we're in the spooky season, and you can feel it up here because this is where the Salem witch trials were, like all these things. Like it's got that ancient New England vibe. You got like the American Indians that were here, the colonists. Like, I mean, come on, all that history is so cool.
Yeah.
It's very spooky.
On like the New England area again, like Salem, Massachusetts, and then you had everything around here in Connecticut, and then even stuff in New York, Sleepy Hollow. Love those stories.
And speaking of Connecticut, I don't know if you knew this story, but like our fascination with the sci-fi stuff, there was this guy studying in the 1940s in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and he was like funded by NSA and a bunch of people for a while, and then he got unfunded, but he was studying aliens that were buried in southern Connecticut. Supposedly they found bones. Do you ever hear that story?
I have not heard that story, but I'm not surprised because UFO sightings were very common in my town.
What was it?
UFO sightings in the town, New Milford, that I grew up in.
New Milford. Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I remember growing up as a kid. It made the local newspaper. This is like in the late 70s and 80s. You can go and find the article still online. They were two high school students. They were out on a weekend. They saw a UFO and experienced missing time while they were there. It was an actual news article. That was just a common thing. And on some of the, we do a Raven's Heart X File edition every once in a while, and we discuss these things. And we had that, and then some of the things that went on around my house that I grew up in. My sister was very spiritually sensitive, still is very spiritually sensitive. The things that she would see in the other realms, absolutely terrifying, very eerie.
Oh yeah, I mean we understand that, right?
Yeah.
We like that stuff. It's definitely there. So in school they tell you like, oh, like ghosts don't exist, like aliens don't exist, like it's just like it's all lies. Like we know it's real. We know it's real. It's fun. Now the government's telling us it's real, so it must be real.
Yeah, I've always had a fascination with aliens and sci-fi.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd go to Mars.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The music. A couple other questions about that. Aatheria, when we were talking on the phone, you said that some people say, hey, this is that kind of a Linkin Park sound to it. And I went back and I had to listen to pick that up because I was blown away by the originality of what you were doing. It's like, yeah, I can hear that. But what you're doing is so unique. It's not a copycat of what everybody else is doing. You're doing your own thing. Why is it important to you guys as artists to be so unique? Just besides, you got to do that for marketing purposes. I get that. But why is it important for you to be unique?
I think it's important because, that's how you're going to cut through all the noise. And, you can't be, if you're not authentic, then how are you going to really like explode and stuff and become a thing and become the next big thing? And we're not trying to do that. We're just trying to really be authentic to ourselves and our music and get something that resonates with the masses. That's what our goal is. And if it resonates, great. If it doesn't, I don't know. I mean, I don't think we have a goal that's anything else. What do you think?
No, I don't think we ever really thought about it.
We actually didn't.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. We never even thought about it. I mean, you just came up with the music and I was like, perfect.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
It just kept taking inspiration from bands and music we listened to, and again, just came back to that concept of how can we love this style of music or this artist and was inspired by this at the time, and it's like, okay, how can we blend this together, make it make sense, make it work, make it not sound like, sort of like putting together like a good recipe. Like
yeah, I think so many people like they really try hard and they're like, what can I do to make this commercial? What can I do to like whatever? And that's like when you block your creativity and you block maybe the gold because
you kind of pigeonhole yourself to one thing. And that's why we never even like said like what genre are we going to be? Like no, we just write music. Like let's just make cool sounding music that we like.
And we're weird, so it works.
Yeah.
Weird stuff comes out.
And I like it, resonate with it. But no, we never really thought about like how are we gonna stand out? How are we gonna be different? Like we never, and I hope that doesn't sound like weird or pompous or egotistical or anything, but we just want to make this type of music. Yeah. Hopefully it's cool, and this is kind of what we're inspired by, and it just kind of came together. And again, we critique each other heavily. Yeah. Like, if something sounded kind of off, if something wasn't quite in tune. Just for both of us, just constantly trying to get things better and better for ourselves and for each other, and that's just kind of what we came up with.
That's true artistic expression. When you have to force it and try to figure out what you're going to do, you're probably doing the wrong thing. You're in the wrong lane. It should be, and this is my honest opinion. What you do artistically and creatively should just be what naturally flows out of you.
Agreed. Yeah. But it's hard. I don't blame other people for trying to copy and trying to draw inspiration and be like, oh, we need this to be commercial, because a lot of times people did do what they wanted and then it didn't pick up. But you just gotta, that's not going to ever be authentic if you're trying to be like somebody else. Because there's so many people that are trying to do that. So we just don't want to do that. We just want to have fun doing it.
Yeah, basically. I think, yes, just whatever you feel like playing, just play it. Just have fun. The most important thing is just have fun with it. I think if you're trying to sound like another band, if you're like, oh, we got to sound like these guys, we got to sound like this, then no, just sound like you. Like definitely take inspiration from different bands and different music, but just come up with something that you think is cool and that you vibe with, that you feel inside you. Just get it out into your hands or your voice or whatever instrument you play or anything, whatever creative outlet you have. Just let it flow. Just let your mind take you to where you want it to.
If you want to sound like another band, you can be a great cover band. That's
Yeah.
that's my advice to people that want to sound like somebody else. Just go be a cover band.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, for real.
What does Etheria mean? I love the name. How did you come up with it? What does it mean? It's just, again, it's like the music. It just hits your ears like butter.
Yeah, so it was just weird. Like it came to me, which is kind of creepy. It just came to me, and I mean, I've read books over the years, but I'm not like the most well-read person. Like I don't like sit in the library all day and read. But I don't know, maybe some of the books I read, like it stuck in my brain. And I looked it up. Because I always love the word ethereal, right? Something ethereal, and I was like, Aatheria. So I looked it up, and it was, an ancient Greek term for one of the daughters of that Greek god. It starts with an H. I can't pronounce it. Forget it. I can't pronounce it. Not Heracles. It's something else.
Hercules?
No.
Heracles.
No, that's a Disney movie.
What's that Greek guy? What's his name? Pericles? What's
I don't
the
know,
football guy, right? No.
So anyway, she or whatever, that daughter, and they were all like mythical stuff. So I love all that. And then also it's very spacey. Like I love the name Aurora, but like that was just so much related to Aurora Borealis, so I didn't want to take that one. But I wanted something that would be resonant with like cosmic, and it means of the sky, above the earth, the ether. And there's so many bands that have the name Aatheria, so I actually had to make my own spelling too, because there's other bands that have it, 'cause it's a great word. So hopefully it doesn't confuse people, but I think people can figure that out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if I can figure it out, people can
Aatheria.
Well, I mean, you don't say Aaron, Aaron. I mean, you do, but
Aaron?
you say Aaron. You pronounce Aaron.
I always say, hey, Aaron.
Yeah, so that's where it came from. And I always like those one-word bands. I think they really hit home, like Metallica, and just that was it,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Keep it simple, and if there was still a Yellow Pages, a phone book, how like the exterminator company would always have like AAA or quadruple A extermination company. Yeah, so they could wind up at the top of the listing. So alphabetically, it's going to work.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Alpha.
I mean, yeah, we planned that. We totally planned that.
We did.
Yeah. You caught on.
You have definitely made those that have heard your music, seen your video, hungry for more. When can we expect more from Aatheria, and what can we expect?
I don't know.
No, that's it. Nope. I'm coming out with my polka solo album, and yeah, that's it. No, we're actually doing a remix of the song, and it'll be out for Halloween.
Ooh, spoiler alert. Okay, all right.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So it'll be out by then, and then more stuff along the way. We got more new music coming out. As soon as we can get it to you. So we got a lot of things in production right now, and now too we're kind of mixing things in Dolby Atmos as well. So we're getting ready for all that stuff. So we got a lot of work, and it's getting there. But yeah, around Halloween time, gonna be something awesome. So.
Yep, and then we hope to tour before the year ends. So we're gonna see what we can do, but that would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So.
That would be awesome. I'd go.
Yeah, we'll let you know when we're in the South.
I got you on the guest list.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, let me know when you're in the South, because I am being in Columbia. I'm not that far away from Charlotte, North Carolina, which is a big place for music. And if you come in the South Carolina area or even Georgia, I would take the trip to come see it. Just put me on the list. Point number 1 right here.
Well, we're going to have merch out soon, too. So when we have merch, that'll be exciting. We have some ideas for it. There's a lot of things we're going to do because it's very interesting, but it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a website that people can go to? How can people keep up with the news and what's coming from Etheria? What's next? How can they keep tabs on what's going on?
You just go to ethereal.com. You can go to our Instagram, which is just Aatheria Official. You can go to Facebook, Aatheria Official. Very simple, all the same. And then we're working on getting a TikTok, so we're gonna do that soon too.
Yeah. I want to encourage you before we close tonight, and I'll leave it so that you can say a few things that you may want to share with people. But just stay authentic to what you're doing because it's working.
Thanks. Yeah.
Stay authentic. Keep seeking truth. Keep doing that. And what's going to happen is you continue to see that truth or the truth. Your music is going to be taken to whole different levels. I really see that. In the sea of noise that we were talking about just a few minutes ago with everything that's out there, I've been seeing a shift in music and the arts. We've kind of gone down the drain a little bit with some stuff. I'm like, this has gone beyond art. It's just disgusting. But now I'm seeing a refining, especially in the metal community and those that are doing metal and rock. I talked about this with my friends from Divine Martyr a couple weeks ago. We were talking about Melissa Bonney, Fabian Ernie. We were talking about Illumina Shade and those bands. And really, there's a refining that's going on. There's something really precious coming out of those bands and those projects. And I see the same thing with you. So stay authentic, don't sell out, and keep seeking truth.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Good advice.
Yeah.
And I'm not a guy in the music industry.
That's good.
You're not selling out. We do have an endorsement with Pepsi, and you got new Ethereal Cola coming out.
I do have to do this for you, though. We do this quite often. We have an award that we give to a lot of the bands. This is probably your first award. That's Amy, our studio dog, and she gives you the paw of approval.
Love it. That's the best award to get. That's it.
Got her little headphones on there. Yep, she is. She sits in the studio and previews the music and listens to the music with me. She loves hanging out in the studio.
That's our main clientele is dogs. We're ready for a full-on dog record. Yeah.
It's amazing how animals react to music.
Oh yeah,
it really is.
But when we recorded, we had the dogs always trying to come in to the studio. They like the vibrations,
Yeah.
Yes.
Even my rabbit too would always just lay by my feet while I was typing away engineering stuff as well.
Yep. Amy comes into the studio, and it's really funny. We had I'm kind of embarrassed to admit this, but we had a Yorkie for a while.
Oh,
she was cute. She was funny, but the IQ level just wasn't there. However, she was a music lover, and she really liked the voice of Diane Van Gisbergen from Xandria, the symphonic metal band.
yeah.
And whenever I'd play a Xandria CD or record, her little beady paws, you'd see them under the door trying to get in the studio. So one afternoon, I was downstairs in the living room, and I was playing music videos on YouTube, and Xandria with Diane came up, and she just sat right in front of the television, watching, looking at me, looking at the TV like, "Daddy, that's the girl. That's the voice." It registered with her.
Oh, that's awesome.
It is. Yeah, I used to call her pre-wash. She'd climb into the dishwasher and pre-wash all the dishes before we got it going. So we had to find her a better home. She was a little bit messy. Let's put it that way. But we love dogs. We have Amy, and she's our studio dog. We get her paw of approval. Anything else you'd like to share tonight before we close out?
Yeah, do you have anything to share?
No, but hopefully the world's still around when we can, go on tour, because that would suck if,
Yeah, the ticket sale would be terrible.
I'm just saying, hopefully, we get a little more life, right?
Yeah, we're doing that. We're doing a lot of stuff.
I just want a tour.
We'll get there. So, yeah, keep a lookout, keep having fun, keep enjoying the music. Have fun with life. Go out there. You know, things are crazy, and just live your life, man. That's all I can say is go have fun. Don't worry about things. Try not to worry about things as hard as that is. And yeah, enjoy music. We're gonna have more out for you. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and can't wait to see everybody.
Thank you for having us on.
Yeah,
We appreciate you.
Thank you for joining us for this interview. I've been honored to have you on. Again, with the quality of your production, just on the music side as well as the video side, just totally amazed by it. I really believe you guys are going to go far.
Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate
Thank you, Glenn.
that.
In a few years, I'll be like, I got to interview them back when they first started, like 4 months after.
Yeah, we're gonna say we don't know that guy.
Wow.
No. Thank you so much. And definitely love to be back and everything. So thank you very much for this great opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you. And to our viewers and our listeners, we will be back next week on Thursday night. We'll be back on regular schedule. We did this as a special Friday night edition. We'll be back next Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And until then, peace out and rock on.
lithoscry.com